So whenever you try to explain to someone that a certain preacher or that a certain pastor online is not saved and that they teach work salvation or whatever, a common rebuttal that you'll hear is something to the effect of, well, what about in this other video or in this other sermon that they preached that they explain salvation just like you do, Jerry, right? They didn't say anything about repenting of sins. They didn't say anything about submitting to Christ's Lordship or anything like that. They just said believe in Jesus, right? In this specific sermon clip, in this specific video or interview or something else, right? And sure, obviously, it kind of goes without saying that if you scour through the hours and hours of John MacArthur content or Paul Washer content or whatever, I'm pretty sure you can find all kinds of videos of them basically repeating the same thing that I'm saying, which is salvation's a free gift, it's only by faith, it's not by works and all that. And they will say the right things in those videos. I'm not denying that. But here's the thing though. If you look at 1 Timothy chapter 3, one of the qualifications of the deacon is that he should not be double-tongued, right? And what it means to be double-tongued is that you're essentially speaking out of both sides of your mouth, right? So it's like you say one thing over here, but then in a different occasion you say something else, which is basically, hypocrisy, right, to put it bluntly. So yeah, obviously you can find videos of John MacArthur saying, salvation correctly in some videos, right, in some sermons, in some other content that you can find, right? And I can say the same thing about other false prophets as well. I mean, for crying out loud, I could even find, Catholic priests, giving lip service to salvation by faith alone. You can find that stuff. It's out there, right? I'm pretty sure you can find it if you look hard enough. But at the same time, the issue is not what they say that's correct. The issue is what they say that's wrong, that is false. And there are videos of John MacArthur, quotes from books or whatever, and it's not just him, I'm just picking out as an example, where he explicitly teaches work salvation by saying that you must turn from your sins to be saved. And that, this doctrine of the carnal Christian is false, and it's something that evangelicals believe in, implying that there is no such thing as a carnal Christian, because otherwise why would you mock a doctrine regarding a person that you're, I guess, mocking that and saying that person doesn't really exist or isn't really such a thing as a carnal Christian, which is what Paul Washer said explicitly. Either way, my point is that you'll have some sermons where they're saying the right thing about salvation, but then other sermons where they're saying the wrong thing about salvation. So what that means is that they're speaking out of both sides of their mouth, and they believe in work salvation in their heart because that's what they're preaching in one occasion, okay? So if someone preaches the right gospel in one occasion, but then they preach a false gospel in a different occasion, well, what that tells me is that person isn't really saved, that they don't believe the correct salvation, because if they did believe the correct salvation, they would be saying it correctly, on all occasions, when they do talk about it. So no, just because someone is saying the right thing in one specific occasion or one specific sermon does not mean that they're saved. You have to look at everything else that they're teaching.